Hey everyone, and welcome back to Boosted or Busted, episode 14. The series that aims to answer the question, should you level up a toon the old-fashioned way, or use WoW Gold and skip that pain? It's been another great week for me. I'm really enjoying leveling in Draenor, and of course I always have fun making gold. I want to start by thanking everyone who voted for my video auditioning for Want to Buy Gold's channel. I really appreciate the support, and of course I'm eagerly awaiting the results. I may or may not be selected, but either way it was a really great learning experience. The way I look at it is, if I try and I'm not successful, at least it will leave me better prepared for that next opportunity. Alright, so let's move straight into the content for this week. As I wrap up the series, I'm providing some benchmarks on each profession I can contribute to, and this week I'm looking at herbalism and a bit of mining. If you stick around, I'll show you this simple sheet, and we'll take a moment to compare it to the fishing results I had 2 weeks ago. I had a bit of an issue with my Warlords of Draenor footage this week, so I took some time running Siege of Orgrimmar to build up my speed set. That dungeon just takes time. With that, let's start the week with my boosted toon and how he fared gold making. During the course of the week, I decided to get back into farming raw gold out of dungeons, and I used my old data to run only the most efficient raid finder wings, and I made a really good amount of gold doing so. I'm going to make sure that I put out a finalized listing of the most efficient raids once I'm all done with this series. So from a gold perspective, before the AH, I made about 15k, but I invested in a few more flips this week. From the AH, I managed to sell a couple of higher value transmog pieces, with these plated locust bracers having sold from Heart of Fear normal. I made 7k on these bracers, which of course you can't see as part of the set. What a great looking set though. I love the shoulders. I also sold this axe for 3.4k. The silver-edged axe has a unique appearance, meaning there is not another axe that can be transmogged in its place. It's always a good idea to check Wowhead if other items share an appearance with a transmog. Those that have unique appearances tend to sell for a little bit more. Next, surprise surprise, I sold more pets this week. In addition to Stoneclaw, Bowsy, Spirit of Spring, and Korthik Swarmling, I also sold this Corrupted Blood for 900 gold and Spawn of Nathis for 2.1k. I also sold a variety of trade goods, including Mysterious Essence and Laystone Ore, and ended up having made 33k. One concern I have is I actually made very little in the last several days, as I suspect many people are checking out the classic beta. Side note, I'm crying a little because I didn't get in. Overall, I'm sitting at about 508k gold on this guy, so let's take a look at my busted character for this week. I spent about 2 hours leveling and finished my last 4 levels with my busted character this week, putting me at 100. I flew around and finished all of Shadowmoon Valley, and then moved on to Gorgron to wrap things up. It's just crazy how easy it is to make it through these levels. It really only took me about 30 minutes per level to finish this bracket. Next week, I get to start on Legion, where I'll likely focus on invasions. Based on the invasion timer I'll add to the description, I should be able to get 3 to 4 invasions this week. In the AH this week, I didn't make as much gold on my busted toon. I only sold trade materials and made about 3.2k. That said, I didn't post as much as I should have, and I was running out of pets to post. I ended the week having gained 4 levels in about 3 hours playtime and have about 76k gold. After finishing my video, I'll be searching for my first artifact weapon. With my updates complete, let's talk about my benchmarking for herbalism and mining. I'll start by sharing my route I decided to use. Since I'm not super experienced at farming herbs, I leveraged wowprofessions.com for an established route. After a test run took me about 23 minutes, I aim to keep each loop at around 20 minutes and use 3 loops as my benchmark. So the farm took place in Nazmir and started near the Horde flight point here. I then worked my way around the loop clockwise, collecting 591 herbs and ore during a 1-hour session. So here's a look at my herbs and mining spreadsheet. The data was taken from Undermine Journal, and you can see it's a mix of herbs up at the top here, and then onto the ore on the bottom. I can safely say that the glory days of BFA herbing and mining are behind us. When you start to see so many items on the AH, there's a couple of things that are happening there. First off, it's overfarmed, and then also I think that there's some botting going on with these prices. I will say I'd receive a little bit different numbers if I didn't have both professions. Obviously, stopping for both types of nodes made the loops a little bit longer. I would say probably you'd get through a loop of this within 15 minutes if you were not looking for mines as well. So let's talk about my expected split to begin with. You can see a bunch of percentages here. This is actually obtained by taking the total number of any one given resource. So in the case of anchorweed, 23, and divide that by the total number of resources that I received across that time. So it was 23 divided by 591 equals about a 3.89% split. From a benchmark standpoint, you know that I farmed for an hour, and during that hour I received 591 total herbs. That represents 9.85 herbs per minute, and it takes which is basically one herb every 6 seconds. I also took a look at whether or not mining impacted the total amount that I would have received if I only herbed during that time. So if you take a look at the next spreadsheet here, this is the same farm with herb only. You can see that from 9,541, we end up at 9,615. So it is just a slight bit better if you're only collecting one material. Now, how does that compare to the fishing farm that I did the other day? So again, we're looking at 9,615 is the optimal amount that you'd get if you were only herbing. And with fishing, you can see that I had 11,254. Now, all of this amount is dependent on your server and what the current prices are for things. As you remember, when I was looking at things for fishing, they were at very low amounts in the auction house, and therefore very favorable prices. So it's worth having a quick calculator using something like Undermine Journal to be able to see what is the best thing for me to farm right now. As we wrap up this week, I want to thank everyone for continuing to tune into my series. I hope you enjoyed the Nazmir farming session that I provided this week, and I hope that you continue to check me out week over week. Until next time, thanks to all my subscribers and those maybe watching for the first time. Have a great week.